10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the To Be Determined show right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I am the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, and joining me is my co-host for the evening, the Magic City Motormouth, Beyond Ringside's own Fast Eddie Lane. Eddie, how you doing tonight, sir?
It's been a phenomenal week, and I'm looking forward to tonight. Let's have a little bit of fun.
And finally, she's back.
Yay!
I'm back!
Former NWA Women's World Champion, the third longest NWA Women's World Champion reign of all time, Renadel Pala driver, Tasha Simone. Tasha, how you doing tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing absolutely fantabulously fantabulous.
Now, last week we thought we had you on. We had some errors. We had some radio difficulties, if you will, due to the storms that passed by earlier that morning. We hope all is well and okay in your area of the woods.
You know, reports said that they confirmed 10 tornadoes had touched down in the Nashville area. Fortunately, in my area, we had some power lines down, I think some cell phone towers. Nothing too terribly major. I do know there was one death in the Nashville area, but overall, and I am sorry for the loss. Anytime there's a loss like that, that's horrible. It's a tragedy. But overall, I think Nashville weathered the storm, so to speak, rather well.
Well, our thoughts and prayers go out, and good vibes also go out to all in the Nashville, the Tennessee area, and also those in Alabama and Georgia that were affected by the storm as well, and those in Mississippi as well, because the southeast were hit. And it also seems that there's more coming up, so everybody be careful with that. Now, Tasha, you have set up two great interviews with us tonight. Tonight we are scheduled to be joined by Brian Casanova of NWA Saw fame and also Anarchy Wrestling infamy, if you will, and Alan Shepard. So thank you for setting up those interviews. We're scheduled to be joined any minute now by Brian and about 9:15 or so by Alan Shepard. Now, if you will, talk to everybody because you haven't been on since all this come about, ma'am. Why are these gentlemen coming on? Because there's a very special benefit wrestling event, if you will, coming up very soon that you're aware of, ma'am, that you're a part of.
Very, very big benefit, February 24th at the Sawmill. Special thanks to TJ Weatherby and the entire NWA Saw crew for donating the building. Very beautiful little 7-year-old girl by the name of Aurora is battling ALL-type leukemia. She is, and this is an update even since I was on Beyond Ringside, the baby has been found to have cells that actually attack the chemo, so they cannot give her the chemo to attack the leukemia. They are having to do even more serious measures. She is, bless her heart, smiles no matter what. We are banding together. I'm so proud of the wrestling community, for the wrestling fans as well. The wrestlers for donating their time and the fans for stepping up saying, you know, we're going to make donations. Myself and Tiffany Rocks have agreed for anybody who cannot be at the benefit, if they will go to the PayPal account, which is leukemia.ninja@gmail.com. They can actually make a donation to PayPal. They send us the confirmation, and we are in turn sending out autographed pictures for the donations. I know that the donations are coming in. I'm so proud of the wrestling community, like I said, both wrestlers and fans. This little girl is a fighter. Oh, what better way than for us to fight to raise money for her and her mom? Her mom is now on leave from work without pay, and of course, as we know, day-to-day bills don't stop and medical bills are growing, so that she can actually stay in the hospital with her 7-year-old daughter who is fighting this horrible disease. We can find all of these scientists who can create weapons to destroy lives, but we can't seem to find scientists that can find ways to save them.
Do me a favor, Tosh, would you give that email address one more time?
Unless I'm mistaken, and I'll double-check it in a minute, and it's also on my website if anybody wants to double-check my retardedness. It's leukemia.ninja@gmail.com.
Okay.
And what was the PayPal account?
That is the PayPal account.
Okay.
That is the connection to the PayPal account.
So for those that cannot be at the event February 24th, that is the way to donate, and every little bit helps, correct?
That is, every single penny helps. For anybody who hasn't had a member of their family who battles this, like I said, we all have our day-to-day bills. We all have utility bills, car payments, car insurance. Those bills don't go away. They happen. You have to buy food, obviously. Everybody has to eat. You have to have a roof over your head. But when you're battling any type of cancer, when you start going through these treatments, it can rack up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars very rapidly. This little girl was diagnosed 5 months ago. For the last several months, she has basically been in the hospital. And her mother, as I said, has had to take a leave of work without pay so that she can be with her daughter. And the amazing thing to me, we all walk through life saying, oh, I'm having a bad day. I wish things could get better. They don't know when her next day will be it for her. And she still smiles, no matter what. So the least we can do is keep that smile on her face as long as we can and help her and her mom out.
Now, what part do you play on the wrestling event on the 24th for those that don't know?
Well, and I'm not with my normal tag team partner, so this is going to be kind of odd. I'm actually in an intergender tag competition, myself and Brian Casanova facing the so-called anti-bully, Alan Shepard, and Miss Rachel from Nashville. And I just want to break this down right now, totally aside from the event. The anti-bully crap really just absolutely disgusts me. Bullying is just a way for humans to have natural selection. It is survival of the fittest. And I'm so sick of these people whining about it. Really get over yourself. Either grow a set or live as a vagina for the rest of your life. But leave the rest of us alone that are strong enough to survive.
And there is nothing like beating the fuck out of somebody and pounding somebody's face in to battle leukemia. So I just want to tell you all once again, thank you to all the wrestling community, because who is the first one to step up, as always? The wrestling community. So thank you for those that have donated and for those that are going to the event. Now, Fast Eddie Lane,
yes,
you're actually trying to get the Beyond Ringside crew up there, am I correct?
We are going to try to work and see how the logistics work out, and if things can be done, we are going to make every move possible to be up there. Before I cut back, let me go ahead and say this. For those of you that are going to catch this on the Ustream and the YouTube replays, you can see the fact that the email address for the PayPal account is on screen now. And Tasha's going to run down the fact of the where and when one more time, and we'll have that up on the screen throughout the course of the show tonight.
The show is actually going to be at the Sawmill in Millersville, 1214 B Old Louisville Highway, right there in Millersville. Bell time is 5 o'clock. Doors open, I believe, at 4 o'clock. Huge card. Chase Stevens and Eric Andrews are facing off. Believe it or not, that's not the main event of the night. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But they are actually the semi-main event. Main event for the evening is Jason Nesmith and Christian Haim. Just a tremendous, tremendous card of wrestlers. Some people that they will know from here locally, some people that they will know nationally and internationally on the card. Both NWA stars, former TNA stars. Just a really, really huge deal, big card. guys donating their time, and this is something that I want the fans that don't really understand this to know. We're not asking for a penny. This is something that we're doing. We're donating our time, and also a very wonderful man right here in the Nashville area, huge contributor to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's in his 10th year now with the Big Bubba Bash tournament. He does a huge softball tournament every year. Mr. Bubba Perry has, I'm not sure so wisely, but definitely volunteered to be special referee, special enforcer, if you will, for myself and Eric Andrews' match. It's a charity event, but I don't know that Bubba realizes what he is getting himself into volunteering to referee either of our matches. Because, as you know, we do what we have to do to win.
It is not a wrestling event unless somebody named Bubba is involved. We have a caller on the line. 865 area code. Who do we have, sir?
This is Alan Shepard.
Mr. Shepard, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
Now, I will let you know you're walking into a death trap, if you will. Tasha Simone has already been talking about how she hates the anti-bullying campaign, and that you are the anti-bully, sir.
Oh, that's not uncommon. You know, there's many like Tasha that are fans of the anti-bully campaign that I'm on right now, and you know, for good reason, because those people are, quite frankly, just they're scared on the run that this is going, and the fact that so many people that are bullied and so many that are out there that are bullied by ones like Tasha Simone are standing up for themselves and not taking it anymore.
Now, sir, we appreciate you coming on. For everyone that does not know this, oh Lord, there's that laugh.
Run.
The anti-bully Alan Shepard, sir. Now, you have quite the background, sir. Really quick, I know you were here to talk about the wrestling benefit coming up on February 24th, but you were trained by Robbie Race, personal friend of the show is Chase Stevens, and a personal friend of mine, Sean Schultz, the modern-day Viking, sir. How was that?
Well, it was actually, coincidentally enough, Robbie Race, a good friend of mine, especially now, he was trained by the legend Mr. Fuji, and he got me started with me and a friend of mine, Nick Taylor, and just really showing us the basics and really beating us down and making us earn everything that we got. And then once we put the basics together with him, I got on the road with Sean Schultz. We were doing 4 or 5 shows a week, anywhere between Nashville, Knoxville, up into Indiana, Illinois, and just really at that early in the start, kind of living the dream, being a professional wrestler. And then a short time later after that, I hooked up with Chase Stevens. He at that time was still tagging with Andy Douglas. I myself had done a little bit of tag team stuff with Nick Taylor in the Knoxville area, but really crafted a tag team in Nashville. We were doing the deal with Shepard brothers, Alex Shepard, gentleman out of Alabama. You know, we were together, and we wrestled Andy and Chase quite a bit, and had a really good program with them. And the fact that we beat the crap out of each other all over the place, but it really upped my game and helped me to lead into where I am today and further my career. So all those gentlemen have really helped me to further my career.
Now, for those that don't know, there's a common question that we ask: why did you become a professional wrestler, sir?
You know, it's funny. Growing up, I always, and I know most always say this, but I really did. I watched wrestling religiously. My parents were against it. Me and my brother are only a year apart, and he unfortunately was diagnosed with kidney failure very young, and wasn't able to do as many things as what I was able to do. But one thing we always had in common is we loved wrestling. It got to the point where, you know, my parents banned us from watching wrestling. And it got to the point where we were I would sit and watch and tell him what was going on while he watched for our parents, and then we'd switch every 5 minutes to make sure that we were able to see it and watch it. We sat there, I mean, back, in the old pay-per-view days when, you flip to the channel and it's all fuzz, you could hear it, but we wanted any part of wrestling we could be a part of. And it was really great when I got the chance to get into wrestling and do this. My brother was such a huge fan of that and very supportive of it, and it was something that I always felt that if I ever got the chance to do, that I would not just do it for me, but I would also do it for him, because he lives through what I do as far as wrestling goes and anything else that I've done in my life physically that he hasn't been able to do. So it not only gets an enjoyment out of me doing that, but for him as well. And I'm a competitor in everything I do, and this is something that is no different than any other sport that I played, or school or anything else in life. I want to be the best, and I'm going to be the best one way or another.
Is this the reason why, sir, you are the anti-bully?
The reason I'm the anti-bully, it's kind of funny. I did a benefit a while back for a child who committed suicide. It was for Burt Prentice, and it was in Carthage, Tennessee, and it really hit home for me because when I was a kid, I was bullied. I was picked on, and I was a very quiet kid. Believe it or not, I was very quiet to myself, but and bigger than most, but I was still picked on. I wasn't a fighter at that time, and it actually started in high school. When I got into high school, I kind of changed and flipped things around and vowed that I wasn't going to let myself be picked on, and I wasn't going to let anybody else be picked on. And it never came full circle in wrestling until that benefit show. A child who had committed suicide because he had been bullied on and picked on so much, because of who he was, and the people and other kids just wouldn't let it go and leave him alone. And from that point on, it really pulled at me that this is something I needed to do. That this was a campaign that I needed to lead that would change not just professional wrestling and the people in it, but hopefully open the fans' eyes up to let them see how bad bullying really affects children and people in general on a daily basis. And as a victim of bullying and somebody who stood up to it, I feel that other people and children alike can stand up for themselves and not take it anymore.
Wicked?
Now, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to go. I'm sorry. I
was waiting for the toss.
Shepard, I understand you work on graphics. Now, how did you become involved with this benefit on the 24th, sir?
Actually, it was, I've always been a big fan of benefits. Anything we can do for people in the community, anybody who's in need. I feel, to me, wrestling is a family. No matter if it's fans or it's the wrestlers, the promoters, especially independent wrestling, it's a family. And when somebody is in need or somebody is needing help, that we all come together and that we help one another. I know that, if I needed help, that everyone would gather around and do everything they needed to help. And, with this, it's another reason, for everything that I do in wrestling. It's for the people. It's for this little girl who, needs every bit of help she can get. And we always, not all of us need help all the time, but we all need help at some point. And it's nice to have people there that can help. And me, whether I know you or I don't, I'll help any way I can. And to me, this is an innocent little girl who has, done nothing wrong and it just wants to live her life and be healthy. And, doctor bills pile up. And I really saw that, I lived that with my brother growing up. It was hard for my parents to be able to do that, and it's not cheap. They pile up and they don't go away. And so by doing this and taking part in this and donating my time and anything else that I can, I know helps people just tremendously. And it may be the smallest little bit, but even the smallest little bit accounts for something a whole lot.
Now, how do you feel teaming up with Miss Rachel against former NWA Women's World Champion and my co-host and my big sis, Tasha Simone? Do you feel like this is something that maybe it's a mountain that you can't climb to the top, sir?
You see, there's no mountain that I can't climb. You know, any mountain that's been put in front of me, I've found my way over it, through it, around it, whatever I have to do. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, Tasha's, I feel like she's in for a rude awakening. I know you're sitting there, Tasha. I'm sure you're chuckling and you got that big grin on your face, but, you know, you're going to have your hands full.
Hell, I'm laughing my ass off.
You're going to have your hands full. Don't worry. You don't need to worry about me. You need to worry about Miss Rachel. You know, your boy, Brian Casanova, I'll take care of him. You're Mr. Universal.
My what?
It's your
Don't get it twisted. He's my partner. He's not my boy.
Well,
Easy,
no matter
Tosh.
what, y'all have to figure out some way to work together. And I know me and Miss Rachel are going to be on the same page because we're looking to come in there and take both of you out either way.
Alan, have you ever tagged with Miss Rachel?
No, I haven't. But as you know, I've tagged with many different people, and it doesn't matter who I tag with. We're always going in there with the same goal, and that's to win. And that's what I do best is win. And Tasha, it's not going to be any different.
Fascinating.
It's not in my contract to lose, Alan. Remember that.
Fascinating Lane.
Now, if I may, there are so many facets and so many levels, especially in this day and age when it comes to bullying. Which do you feel has been the most detrimental to the youth of today right now? I mean, do you think that online bullying, per se, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, LinkedIn is the worst kind? Or do you still think basic physical intimidation is the worst kind? And which one do you oppose the most?
To me, it's gotten to a level that I never even thought it would get to. Me growing up, I mean, you know, I'm not you know, old or anything like that, or I'm not that young either. But when I was young, there wasn't computers around for people to sit there and pick at you online and everything else. And I feel like, you know, the physical aspect of it has always been there. That the cyberbullying and everything else is just added on top of all that, and that yes, it has made it worse. I think that a lot of people, it's a lot easier to get online and pick on somebody and get on Facebook and post something that hundreds and thousands of people, you know, can see, rather than being picked on at school in front of your schoolmates and stuff, which, you know, is a smaller population. So I definitely think that the cyberbullying is taking a bigger effect. I think that, I mean, obviously all bullying is wrong, and it's hard to cope with, but the cyberbullying has really had a major impact on people because it's so widespread out there, and that it affects so many.
And if I could, as a follow-up, as we come up in life, we all have what we refer to as role models. As kids, as teenagers, adults, and even in this wonderful world in the sport, the business, and the industry of professional wrestling. Growing up at the different phases, who have been some of your most prominent role models, and in pro wrestling, who have been some of your role models?
Well, I can honestly say one of my biggest role models has always been my dad. He's a blue-collar guy, works hard. He, you know, has always believed work hard for everything you get. Don't take anything that you haven't earned. You know, work, take what you want, and earn it. And that's one thing I've tried to live by my entire life. Seeing him work with his hands every day and just really bust his ass, you know, to get what he needed to provide for his family and to be where he's at today. As far as, you know, role models growing up, you know, I played basketball growing up. I was always a huge fan of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was always one of those guys that, you know, never said no to anything. I mean, the guy played and scored 45 points in a game with the flu one day. I mean, that kind of determination and heart doesn't come into people every day. So he was definitely an influence in professional wrestling. I know this is, you know, a lot of people's big favorite is Shawn Michaels, and he obviously was one just growing up. Him and The Undertaker. The Undertaker was his gimmick and everything was I was just in awe. His size, his facial features. He was one of those characters that you just so intimidating. And I always felt that, that presence, and wanted to have that presence to people, not to be scared, but that, intimidation factor that knew that if it turned my way, that I was going to do what I had to do. Shawn Michaels is an entertainer, flat out entertainer. The best entertainer out there to ever grace professional wrestling. Another big one, and I don't know how many people have said it, but superstar Billy Graham. He was just, for his time, just a specimen that just everybody awed at. And it was one of those guys that you just, no matter whether you hated him or you liked him, you stared at him and just like, look at this guy. This guy is massive. He's powerful. He's everything that a man wants to be. And so growing up, those guys, really personified what I wanted to get out of wrestling, and where I wanted to go is to get to the top, to be powerful, to be entertaining, and to be intimidating in the world of professional wrestling, so that I could succeed. Ric Flair is obviously another one. Arguably the greatest professional wrestler to ever live. A mastermind on the mic, which I believe that I have a lot of work on still to do, but he was just flashy and everything there. Again, another man in his time that stood out. And it's those standouts that make it. It's those ones that stand out from the crowd that have an impact and a change in this business that make it. And not a lot of, it's hard with where professional wrestling is today to see something that hasn't been done already. It's either being made up again, or somebody's trying to copy it full blown. That's one thing I always, pride myself on, is trying not to ever copy anything that was done already. The anti-bullying thing, it's not a gimmick, it's real, and it hits home for me, so I know that it's going to hit home for a lot of other people, and that it's going to impact a lot of people.
Any last words for Tasha Simone or her tag team partner, Brian Casanova, sir?
Well, there's not a lot of lost love between me and Tasha. I don't think we need to say too much. I think there's been plenty said between us over the time we've spent around each other. But just be ready. Tasha, Miss Rachel's going to bring everything she's got, and I hope your tag team partner, Brian Casanova, brings his A game, brings his universal soldier attitude, because he's going to need a soldier to take down this army. Keep laughing. It's all right. They all do.
I'm laughing because the truth is, Alan, I don't need Brian Casanova as my partner. He's just like anybody else besides my Simply Perfection teammates. He just needs to stay the hell out of my way.
And that's exactly why you will not win.
Alan, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir, and what do you have upcoming?
You can always follow me on Facebook. I'm on there, Alan Shepard. And also Twitter at the Alan Shepard. I'm on. I'm going to my website, AlanShepard.com. It's AlanShepard.webs.com. You can go on there. It's updated on a regular basis where I'm going to be and everything else. So.
Okay. Sir, really quick, any last questions for him, Eddie?
I'm good on my side. I just like to hear the opposite side of the coin. You've heard from Mr. Shepard. We hear from Tasha. And she says Brian Casanova just needs to stay out of her way. Tasha, I know you. I've known you for a little while. You are a badass. But even in circumstances like this, when there's this much on the line and it's for such a great cause, even you need a little bit of help every once in a while.
I agree with that.
But Eddie, I've always got help.
Oh,
it's just
Lord.
not Brian Casanova.
Oh, Lord. Mr. Shepard, thank you.
It's funny because I'll be ready for all of that. I know all of your tricks, Tasha, and you might think you have some up your sleeve that you haven't put out there yet, but I'm ready for anything you throw out there, and whether it's Brian Casanova or it's your buddies on Simply Perfection. No matter who it is, I'm going to be ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, February 24th, the benefit event, it is going down. The NWA Sawmill, Millersville, Tennessee. Thank you, Mr. Shepard, so much for coming on. We're about to take our first break of the evening right here on BeyondRingside.com. This is the To Be Determined Show.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park? Getting frisky in the dark, I gave your eye a poke. I think the dog is also in the bed. Do I smell smoke, you and me? We never, ever, ever give up.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices. Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Packers.
Vikings.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Today, you hit the snooze bar. You checked your email. You checked your fantasy football team. You rejected an insulting trade offer. You ate your lunch. You did all the things that one normally does the day before a 175-mile-per-hour hurricane blows through your city, leaving it in a state of ruin. You never know when the day before is the day before. Prepare for tomorrow at ready.gov/today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't.
Huh?
Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Welcome to today's lottery drawing. And today's winning numbers are not yours, not yours, and another number that's not yours. And the final number is not yours.
When it comes to having money, don't rely on luck. Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering it. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This year, firefighters like Fire Chief James Hall will battle wildfires around the country in hopes of containing them. But firefighters can't do it alone.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile, or it can ignite and destroy your home and community.
Get fire adapted. Learn simple steps you can take now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
Can you tell if these vegetables are being contaminated with bacteria that could cause paralysis? Listen. You can't see it either. Use different cutting boards so that the bacteria in raw meats and seafood and their juices doesn't touch prep surfaces for other foods like veggies. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Are ye plagued by foreclosure? Well, here at Jim Ladd and Matey, we can stop your foreclosure now. We're a mortgage rescue company, and for the small fee of everything you hold dear, we will negotiate with your lender on your behalf. Call Jim Ladd and Matey at 1-800-YAR-YAR. That's 1-800-YAR. YAR.
If you're facing foreclosure, talk to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE. Brought to you by NeighborWorks America and the Ad Council.
Drop School Day students community. High 7 the classroom, 1,000 America attendance. Quit variety they have reasons. Job like to get. Baby raiser. Relative help an elderly. Happening local on it's a level. Catastrophe, it's a national.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. It doesn't make sense to us either. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Al Roker. Let me tell you what's happening in your neck of the woods. Right now, 1 in 6 Americans don't know where their next meal is coming from. These are our neighbors, friends, our co-workers, but we can do something about it. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find the local food bank in your community. I'm Al Roker, and together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
Want to help those affected by Hurricane Sandy? To donate, visit sandy.adcouncil.org. That's sandy.adcouncil.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Science Today. And the next caller is 9-year-old Philip.
Hi, will I know the molecular formula?
Ladies and gentlemen, Beyond Ringside Radio Network welcomes you to the To Be Determined show right here. So thank you all for that have joined us. That's made no sense, but oh well. Tasha, thank you for setting up that interview.
Not a problem.
Eddie.
Yes.
This past Saturday.
Yes.
Tell everyone what happened while we have a chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, this past Saturday night, February the 2nd in Palmerdale, USA, Global Championship Wrestling kicked off the 2013 Junkyard Dog Memorial Tag Team Tournament. The reason why it's the Junkyard Dog Memorial is because the owner of Global Championship Wrestling was trained by the Junkyard Dog Sylvester Ritter. And JYD holds a very special place in his heart for everything that he's done for the owner of GCW. And Dan figures the best way that he can pay homage to what Sylvester meant to him is to take an event where tag team wrestling steps to the forefront. And this is not the first rodeo for the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. We've done this for a number of years at Global Championship Wrestling. And this past Saturday night, there was some great tag team action in the first round. And, you know, I almost, especially after this weekend, almost felt bad for the opponent of the Unlucky Charms. It was supposed to be a tag team match between the Unlucky Charms, Damon Christopher, Chris Knox, as managed by the host of To Be Determined, the Wicked Nemesis, taking on the combination of the former GCW champion, Mr. O'Hagan, and a tag team partner, Burnin' Jake Cole. Jake Cole, tremendous up-and-coming youngster in Global. And unfortunately, he came down, okay, this is the real part, kids. He came down with a major league case of the flu, which he said was contagious according to his doctor. I would rather err on the side of caution because I've had a contagious style flu in the last 6 weeks. I know what it's like. I know how much it hurts, and how much of an annoyance it is just to try to move around. So the front office said, dude, chill, get better, let us know, get a doctor's excuse. We'll work on the next show. So O'Hagan decided to step up and take it as a handicap match. I respect O'Hagan's resolve. I respect his talent. Not much else. But by the same token, there's sometimes when you just got to sit back and say, I'm a former heavyweight champion. I'm a former tag team champion. I'll take one of y'all one-on-one, but I don't think even I'm going to go two-on-one. Fact of the matter is, he shouldn't have gone two-on-one. So from that vantage point, Mr. O'Hagan was pretty much decimated by the unlucky charms. And as it stands right now, the GCW Tag Team Champions, Full Throttle, were in a first-round match up against, from the underground, Micah Taylor and Spiral. And because of the fact that Taylor and Spiral had not teamed that much in a public forum, especially not in global, from that vantage point, I think, considering the fact that Eon and Lightning had just gotten the belts back in their possession earlier in the week, and I said this during the GCW wrap-up show, that they might have had a case of too much too fast, and they might have overlooked Taylor and Spiral. Not a good idea. Micah Taylor and Spiral defeated Full Throttle, Trevor Eon, and Joey Lightning to advance to the next round. Let me reach over here real quick. Hold on. I could have just spun the chair around. I've got the microphone over there. Why don't I remember this? You'd love this.
Are you drinking on the job?
Yes, water. Theodore Tutwiler III and the Night Prowler took on the reunited combination of High Definition, Jeremy Foster and Cody O'Connor. High Definition back in the saddle, and they rode to a victory. Also, Mudbone, the Mystic from San Monique, who was just recently reinstated, courtesy of the efforts of Howard C. Cross, the Legal Eagle, thorn in my commissioner's side for the last few years, teamed up with a name that a lot of you are going to know, Mike Posey. Sorry for the heavy emphasis on the P right there. Bone and Posey made a very formidable combination, but they came up a little bit short against a tag team that's been going for a while in Global. Showtime, Shane Fox, and Scotty Blaze. So Foster and O'Connor advanced, Fox and Blaze advanced, Micah and Spiral advanced, and the Unlucky Charms advanced. Next, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, with everything that happened, there were several surprises.
Oh, yeah.
This past Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
What was your favorite?
Let's see. Mudbone and Mike Posey, actually, because, and I know that's going to sound weird considering who I am and the role that I play in Global, because not only am I the ring announcer, but I'm also the commissioner who is put in the role of a fan favorite, thankfully. Rubber heel. And, excuse me, Tasha, close your ears for a second. Bullshit. Okay. However, no. Been wanting that heel turn for 3 fucking years. And yes, there's your obligatory F-bomb for the week. However, from that... And boom goes the dynamite. But let's be straight about it for a second, because when you had Mudbone reinstated, which I thought was a great move by Howard C. Cross, as much as I can't stand Cross, I have a begrudging respect for him. He is hell in the boardroom. The man knows contracts better than I know music, and that's part of my shoot job during the week. Is I've worked for over 25 years as a DJ in every medium possible. Hey, Will, what's up, man? And the combination of Mudbone and Posey is a pure classic combination. And I think if they'd have had a little bit more time to get their timing and their chemistry together, I think considering the ground and pound and attack of Mudbone and the aerial attack and the wisdom of Mike Posey, these two could shoot straight to the top contender spot for the tag team titles.
Excuse me?
I think they could. I think that we're legitimate.
I think what he said is he thinks they could really whip y'all's ass if y'all
I didn't say
prepared.
that. I didn't say that. Now, I will say this. Given experience under their belt, but Wick, even you have to admit, Mudbone is one of the most ferocious, one of the most unpredictable, and one of the most devious competitors in the history of wrestling, not just in GCW. This guy is a freaking powerhouse and one of the 3 best spine busters I have ever seen.
Hold on. Time out.
Yes.
He is the best GCW wrestler of all time. Okay.
I can go ahead and he's definitely in the upper echelon. And you remember, I've been with Global since its inception, and on and off. But by the same token, he genuinely is. And like I said, the man's got one of the 3 best spine busters I have seen in the world of professional wrestling. Number 2 being Triple H on top of his game. Number 1 being Double A Arn Anderson. So that's how high of regard I put Mudbone in. Plus, the man's got an unpredictable streak, kind of like me killing the crab legs at the all-you-can-eat buffet.
I'm reading between the lines. He said they could whip your ass if you want.
I would never say that.
He said it.
I would never.
I'm reading between the lines, Eddie.
I don't put anything between the lines. Tasha, I love you to death, darling. I don't put anything between the lines. I say that they could go straight to the top contendership. There is no doubt in my mind that the Unlucky Charms right now, as it stands, coming out of this past Saturday night in Palmerdale, if the gold was on the line tonight, the Unlucky Charms would be the undisputed GCW Tag Team Champions. You have me on tape as saying that, but in this...
I will say this. The Unlucky Charms do not win every time, but when it comes to titles, we always win.
Put it this way. If I had a problem with the Charms being tag champions, how many times have I introduced the Charms as tag champions?
Every time.
All right, then. If I had a problem with that, would I have done that?
Yeah, but what you're saying is what your face is saying.
I'll go on video.
Crow's feet.
Say what?
I was translating. Damn it, I was translating.
No need for translator. There's anybody who's known me longer than 5 minutes. I put everything on the lines, nothing between, nothing under, nothing over. It's all on the lines. There is nothing. There's no double speak in my vernacular. I believe in shooting straight all the way across the board, and sometimes that gets me in a pile of hot monkey dung. But I'm very honest.
Ew.
Because some people can't handle the truth.
Now, really quick, Eddie.
Yes.
Is this the best JYD tournament you have ever seen?
I'd say one of the 5 best. Last year was absolutely tremendous.
Yes.
The year,
yes.
And remember, it was the Irish Brotherhood, O'Hagan and Maniac O'Malley. Who took home the gold. But see, I also sat back and said the year before when High Definition won it, that based on the last 2 years, the JYD is the kiss of death for tag teams. And then all of a sudden...
you're talking about GCW tag teams, not tag teams in general.
You're right.
Those are strictly GCW tag teams.
You're right. Now, I'll tell you the truth. I would love to see Alabama Attitude in this tag team tournament. I'd love to see a match between Corey Hollis and Mike Posey against Chris Knox and Damon Christopher. I think that would be a match of the year candidate.
Yes, it will.
I think that genuinely would be a match of the year candidate in anybody's book.
But what was 2012's match of the year? Calm Like a Bomb Pandora against Tasha Simone.
Damn right.
Well, see, I never saw the second one, so I'm going off the first one. I never did see the second one, but I remember the first one like it was yesterday. And I'm sorry. I'm going to say it like this. Wrestling fans all across the country and around the world, if you watch a match that goes over 20 minutes, you may see an abundance of rest holds, especially chin locks from Randy Orton. But by the same token, I was there at Top Rope when Tasha Simone and Pandora went at it the first time. The fact of the matter is, these two professionals, no dead time, no lollygagging, no dragging it out, they went. And I will say this, on that night, there are no labels for gender that you could put on that match. This was one hell of a wrestling match. Not a women's match, not a ladies' match, not a divas match, not a knockouts match. This was one hell of a wrestling match. I wish that match were available for any and every trainer to show women who want to get into professional wrestling. Do you, in your heart of hearts, think that you can match this? Can you parallel this? Can you come within 10% of being somewhere close to this? If you can't, don't waste my time. I'd love to take your money, but if you're not going to dedicate yourself like the women in this match did, like the professionals in this match did, don't need you. And like I said, I've said this without Tasha Simone being on air with us. I say this to her face the same way I say it behind her back. I got one word for you. Ron Simmons, please forgive me. Damn. Wicked?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Damn.
Okay. Oh, by the way, real quick, in the central Alabama area, also eastern Georgia, Saturday night, February the 23rd, Pell City, Alabama is going to be the second round of the JYD Memorial and the finals of the JYD Memorial. You already know the 4 teams that are going to be going in. Also, we're going to have some big news with Global Championship Wrestling as far as the television title goes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Bell time 7:30 at the Pell City Civic Center, Saturday night, February the 23rd. Tickets are only $10 each. Email gcwmedia@yahoo.com to reserve ringside seats for Global Championship Wrestling. The music should be playing underneath me while I do that.
Now, Tasha, really quick. With Alan Shepard and Miss Rachel, what is the difference between Kama Combined Pandora and Miss Rachel?
About 150 pounds.
Shut up, Eddie. Shut up, Eddie.
Oh my God!
Oh, wait a minute. And if you're listening, Cindy, don't say it.
Lord have mercy.
You look at the chat room.
Oh.
What did I say?
Nothing.
Besides the obvious weight difference, what is the difference
I thought
in the
this
wrestling
would
style?
say the first thing that popped in your head. I thought it was like, you say black and I say white. Or, I thought that's what we were doing.
Word association. Okay.
Oh, Lord. What is the difference in their wrestling style?
Y'all have missed me, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
Here's the truth, and I'm just going to break it down, and a lot of people are going to like this, and a lot of people aren't. I really don't give a damn. Some people know, some people don't. I have at one point counted Miss Rachel as a very close personal friend of mine. Her daughter is actually named after me. I don't mind telling people that. I'm the one who kicked the brat out of her. True story. Kicked her right out. In a match. Bam. At the Sawmill in Millersville, Tennessee. If Rachel wants to be a wrestler, and the key word is wants to be, she can wrestle her ass off. That's a lot of wrestling to do, too, by the way. Just in case y'all didn't miss the 150-pound difference there.
Are there clouds over your city right now?
The truth is, Rachel was trained in the style that I was trained in, only she was actually trained in Britain. Can she go? Yes. Does she? And here is the true difference between her and Pandora. Does she? No. Rachel, no matter, and if she's listening, I still feel this way, and I'm saying this and I'm saying dead out. Do I respect her when she is on her game? And I'm qualifying what I say. Absolutely. I respect her when she is on her game. Do I respect the fact that she is not always on her game? No. She is another girl who has fallen victim to the customs wrestling trap. We need to choose. We're either professional wrestlers or we are customs wrestlers making videos for guys to watch, get their little penises hard, and jack off to. And that's what she does. The difference is, Pandora and I both are wrestlers.
You know that there are women who order those customs also, right?
Yeah, well, they just don't have their penises get hard. That's called a clitoris.
California Exotic Novelty or Adam and Eve, those companies sell the pre-hardened versions. They're a little bit already turgid before you buy them.
That is correct.
There's your word for the day, kids. Turgid.
The word is, well.
On a serious note,
y'all really missed me, didn't you?
You know, you're damn right we did. Folks, a lot of what you're hearing tonight is based around the benefit that is going to take place on Sunday, February the 24th in Millersville, Tennessee. It's called Fighting for Aurora. You've got a multitude of great stars in professional wrestling that are coming together for a great cause for a very beautiful young girl to help with her medical bills, with help with the family. And I tell you this, if you are with
my designated driver's wrestling against my partner.
Kayfabe.
Can I go?
No, really, I said that. I don't mind saying that.
Okay.
Hank Stevens was my designated driver Super Bowl Sunday, and I survived.
Oh,
that's
Lord
a scary thought.
I survived.
I'll tell you what, we're going to have opportunity to speak a little bit more about the show as we come back after the top of the hour break. But when we come back after the top of the hour break, folks, you get a chance to feel the rage as the one and only Smark Rage lets loose with the Smarks Rage right here on the To Be Determined show on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome to the Georgia Wrestling Report. I'm Mark Grayson from GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com and the 5MinuteMark.com. Last night, we had the Universal Independent Wrestling Show in Villa Rica, new venue at the Villa Rica Elementary School. Main event saw Big Bull Buchanan win back his UIW Heavyweight Championship belt. That's right, I said his belt. This is Bull Buchanan, and he sure showed Shane Marks what it's like to be in Bull Buchanan country last night. Oh, wait a minute. That was DeWitt Dawson, rookie manager of Shane Marks, making a mistake, costing the man the title. It's a great match, great crowd, great show. Be sure to check out Universal Independent Wrestling on Facebook for all the information on their big shows, especially March 16th, Diamond Dallas Page. It's Jake the Snake Roberts coming back on his redemption tour and in Villa Rica with Universal Independent Wrestling. Be sure to check out their Facebook page. Like I said, keep up with that. February 16th, big show, Villa Rica, Georgia. Boy, Villa Rica's become like the big show capital of the world. Nightmare to Remember 3, the Bay Springs Middle School. Third annual show is a lifelong celebration of Ted Allen. The Nightmare trained so many great wrestlers are going to be on the card. Some of his best friends, a lot of great legends, including Bullet Bob Armstrong accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award for his son Brad Armstrong. WWE Hall of Famer Ron Simmons will present the award. Also on hand will be family of Big Bill Dromo accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award in Big Bill's honor. Can't wait to be there and be part of that. Be sure to check out lnpromotions.com for all the information. Be sure to get your tickets in advance. Save a couple bucks and beat that line at the door. This is a big show and sure to be close to a sellout. Had a great show with Classic Pro Wrestling on Friday night. Franklin, Georgia was lit up with 6 great matches. Dr. Bombay is on a tear. Poor Britt Anderson making his Classic Pro Wrestling debut was absolutely destroyed in 45 seconds or less. Chip Day, Josh Storm, little feud going on with the two young men. Chip Day explained why he is Chip Day. Those vicious kicks putting Josh down. 1, 2, 3 for the count. Brian Alexander came out, basically said he was done being Brian the Great Alexander and just wanted to be plain old Brian Alexander, and asked for a shot at Johnny Swinger, which turned out to be one of the greatest matches so far of our short history at CPW. 2 shows strong. Swinger and Brian Alexander went to a 20-minute time limit draw. Wow. Check out ClassicProWrestling.net for information on our big shows coming up on February 22nd and March 1st at the Heard County Middle School in Franklin, Georgia. $5 tickets are on sale in advance. Where else can you see big-time professional wrestling for $5? Chick Donovan will be on hand, cranking it up, lacing up the boots, jumping back in the ring. There's no telling what the old man's going to do. Also, be sure to check out GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com. Keep with all the 27 active promotions in the state of Georgia. All over the place. We cover everything from South Georgia to North Georgia, from West Georgia to East Georgia, all points in between. There's a ton, just a ton of great wrestling going on in Georgia. Independent professional wrestling capital of America. Be sure to check out the 5minutemark.com for all my shameless self-promotions. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Two-Bit Shepard Show, right here on Beyond Ringside. Why are you laughing?
Who?
Why are you laughing? You.
I'm not laughing. I was trying to avoid coughing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The Smarks Rage. Corey, what are you raging about this week, sir?
Well, this week, I know I missed the show last week. My apologies. To talk about The Rock. People pissing and moaning about The Rock. You know, he's back. Stop complaining. Whether he's back for 6 more months, 9 more months, a year, he's back. He generates a ton of cash for the WWE. The boys in the back, everybody on that payroll, everybody on the payroll should be happy he's back. Everybody's going to make a nicer amount for WrestleMania and all the other pay-per-views, whether they like it or not. They should have stepped up their game so they wouldn't have to fall back on a guy from 15 years past. You know, the fans, people bitch too much about pro wrestling. You know, I was having a conversation the other day with somebody in the business. You're just talking about this same thing about The Rock. How the wrestling fans, nobody's ever happy. You know, it's wrestling. If you don't like what you see, turn the channel. Another thing, indie shows, stop bringing names to your show. Stop bringing names to your show if that's all you're going to do is bring them one time. It does absolutely nothing for your promotion but costs you money. You agree with me, Tasha? If you bring, let's say you bring in a perfect example. You bring in, I don't know, pick somebody. You bring in the Ultimate Warrior for your show, one show. Okay,
no.
I'm just using him.
I would use him for target practice.
Okay, well, you know these wrestling companies bringing in these wrestlers for one show makes absolutely no sense. It does nothing for the long-term plan of your wrestling company. Agree?
Well, here's the thing. I'm just going to break it down. I'm in that mood tonight. I don't do this very often. When you bring in somebody like that, the whole idea of bringing them in is to build your top talent. That's what they're there for. And if a wrestling company does not use that person to build their top talent, no matter who it is, they have wasted their money, they have insulted their locker room, and they've insulted their fans. Period.
And another thing, stop using breaking news when you're going to promote your show. It's not breaking news. Okay? You're not a news station. Just, you know?
Why don't you just say you're talking about all these stupid NWA press releases? Break it out, man.
Exactly. It's the NWA.
Wait a minute. Hey, Corey.
Know, it's not breaking news. You're not CNN. It makes you just look ridiculous, in my opinion.
Hey, Corey.
Yes.
I have an easy answer for that. Breaking news. Breaking news is not breaking news. News at 11. Okay, continue.
Right. I mean, it's not. You didn't break the story if you're the one putting the fucking story out there. Right?
Right. It's an exclusive, not breaking snooze.
Exactly. You know, it's just... Oh, and another thing. Stop cutting shitty promos on Facebook. And then in the next post, you know, if Tasha is getting ready to promote something, and she cuts a promo on Casey Carlisle, but then in the next breath talks about Jesus in the next post, it makes you look absolutely ridiculous and bushleague. Correct?
Corey, I have a question for you. Where's the rage? Where's your damn rage?
You're being awfully nice. Are you drunk, Corey?
Are you on Quaaludes, dude? Have you smoked a good joint and didn't share? Dude.
Yeah, I'm on something. I can't tell you what it is.
Hit yourself in the nuts.
Corey,
where's the rage?
You're holding out.
I am holding out. I hung out with... I was in WWE. I was at Monday Night Raw on Monday.
And it sapped your energy. You became a John Cena fan. Damn you! Okay.
You want to know what? You can't see me.
Actually, if I can, I got a couple of things I want to come back at you with. Number one, my only complaint about The Rock is him getting the title at the Royal Rumble, one of the big four shows of WWE, without having a damn match to lead up to it. Why is he the number one contender? Hello, Brock Lesnar and the UFC all over again. I'm going to get a title match with a 1-2 record, and I'm going to be the world champion for UFC brand. Rock hadn't had a freaking match, and they put him in the WWE Championship match. I call bullshit. Number two. Yes.
You know, here's where some of this rage is going to come in. You've got a guy, okay, that held this belt for 425 days.
And did a damn good job in my book.
He did a damn good job. I love CM Punk as a heel. He is probably one of the most believable modern-day heels of this era. And I don't mean that any offense to Wicked or to Tasha, even though Tasha won't make me any friggin' any porn. So
I can hook you up with somebody that can help you out, though.
I mean, what's wrong with jerking off the wrestling guys? For female
okay, would you please put it...
Listen, all you have to do is make a donation to leukemia.ninja@gmail.com. Send myself, Tiffany, and Miss Rachel the confirmation. Rachel will give you one free download. There you go. There's your free porn, and it's for a good cause.
Also,
masturbation for charity. That's always a great thing. But back to CM Punk holding the title for 424 days or whatever it was.
2 minutes.
You have a guy that held it, that was the face of your company, supposedly, for 425 days, carried the company on his back, did a damn good job, you know, worked all these damn house shows, worked, 5 or 6 days a week, and he lost to a fucking elbow. Now...
He lost to an actor.
Well, that to the smart wrestling fans, why did Rock hit him with the rock bottom and then hit him with the elbow? He kicks out of the rock bottom. I just don't get some of WWE's logic.
That's an oxymoron,
everybody's
dude.
Like, well, it made CM Punk look weak.
Yeah.
Whether it really did or not. Here's a guy that's supposed to hold this big prestigious title that actually hasn't been shit anyway. Lost it to a guy that doesn't mean shit. to the WWE except for some cash to an elbow. Hell, I could beat Tasha Simone with an elbow. I could beat Casey Carlisle. I could beat Casey Carlisle with an elbow. And I'm not a wrestler. I'm just a fat, beer-drinking bondsman.
I'd shoot your ass, man, just so you know.
I've got a gun.
He probably has a bigger gun.
Shoot back.
Okay, real quick. One more quick point before we let you run, Corey. Also, I agree with what you said about indie promotions or promotions bringing in outside marquee talent. The number one reason why they should do that is to basically help build up your homegrown talent. You should, any promoter who brings in a name or a supposed name, Luke Ellis, to try to, and ends up putting this person over someone who has a monster freaking winning streak or is on a roll. All right, Bishop. Like there's no tomorrow. I already said, I whispered it. Is completely losing his mind at any particular point in time. Look, I understand this, but when the person that you're bringing in, and I like the person who was brought in, Luke Ellis, but he is B talent at best. He's not A talent. And when you bring in someone on B talent that is taking out one of your A talent and making them lose, especially lose clean, that's stupid. But by the same token, let's put this world in proper perspective. When you put together somebody coming in from the outside, when you put somebody who's been in the E or been on TNA or been in ROH, and you bring them in to help make your talent look good, then I got no problem with it whatsoever. Hey, Corey, what's that tagline?
Get better or get out.
That's your time and that's your age.
Oh, there you go. Oh, sorry. I'm not as drunk as Wicked, but I'm pretty drunk. But, it's just, and I'm not talking about, the guys just coming in and getting a payday. If a guy, it's just, I don't know, it just bothers me.
It's all about the payday.
Yeah, and I guess that goes back to The Rock. Rock's there for money.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. Vince knows.
Are you serious?
Money. What?
Are you serious? Oh my
what?
God, I never knew. I feel so stupid now.
And by the way, Wicked, thank you for telling everybody I'm number one. And you'll get no more egg roll either, motherfucker. No soup for you. Okay. Let's take it home, Corey.
I don't know. I guess that's my time. That's my rage.
We love you, brother.
And if you guys want to get some porn, get with Tasha Simone at Tasha Simone NWA on Twitter, and she'll hook you up with some porn.
From Miss Rachel, not me.
Damn.
Well, you could call Tasha Rachel. Never gets you off. She'll send you the porn. Yes.
You are so glad she does not live in Atlanta, dude.
All right.
And I just got a new gun.
It's okay. Anytime. But you want to know what you need to do, little girl? You need to hit that kitchen and make us boys a sandwich. I'll see you guys later.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Granny's beating off the
What
Indians.
the hell was wrong with him?
I don't
He was
know.
so quiet.
Needed somebody to punch him in the nuts. I love Corey to death, but where's the rage, dude?
Wow.
It's weird when I get more hyper than he does. At least on air.
Oh, I've so got to have that shirt.
Which one?
It says F cardio, just squat. Damn right, cardio sucks ass.
Well, yeah. That's why I don't do it. I live vicariously through others when it comes to working out these days. Now, do one more rep for me. I'm good as I'm sitting over there killing a quarter cheese. Wick, you okay over there, buddy?
Oh, yeah. I'm just dying over Corey. But, ladies and gentlemen, Smark Rage with the Smarks Rage. Corey's one of those guys that's just on top of everything. Eddie?
Yes?
Do you think that, with everything that's been said, that Corey, once again, that his rage is pointed in the right direction?
I think it's a little bit misguided due to the fact that you have to look at the way that WWE Creative handles things. And they are notorious for pulling the trigger way too soon to either kill a storyline, to launch a storyline, or to swerve it. And my number one complaint, I love The Rock. I'm a huge Attitude Era fan. I think that they caught lightning in a bottle with the right mix of talent. You couldn't recreate that again if you had a $10 million budget per day. You can't. It won't happen. But the fact of the matter is, Creative putting Punk with one of the longest title reigns in WWE history. I mean, Bruno Sammartino had the longest. Backlund, technically the second longest. Punk in the top 5. Longest title run in 25 years. And you basically, at one of your big 4 pay-per-views, have him drop the belt to The Rock? Yes, it puts asses in the chairs. Yes, it puts money in the coffers. I understand that. This is a business, Drink. But the fact of the matter is, you have to maintain credibility for the product. If you've had the what's her name from Desperate Housewives sleeping with half the men on the block, married and single, and she comes out five shows later and says she's a lesbian, how credible is that going to be in the storylines? If at the end of 24, Jack Bauer turns out to be a KGB agent, how credible is that to the storylines? If Wicked Nemesis is wearing a glue-on mohawk, how credible is that to the storylines? It's not.
Depends on what kind of glue he used.
Wood glue. Thank you for the setup. Because if it's wicked, it's got to be wood. Okay. I mean, okay, Tasha, do you disagree with anything that I've said?
I'm dealing with so much BS right now over stuff that I really can't say but yes and no. Stuff that I just won't say on the air.
Wicked, do you take umbrage with anything that I've said?
Absolutely not.
Number 4?
He's still stuck on wood glue.
That's right. Wood glue.
Big wood glue. Okay.
Wah, 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 wah.
I was waiting to see if you would come into that realm and... Oh, God, did I just say that?
Where is Matt Denton when you need him?
I don't know. He's off being a C word that I won't say on air.
Uh-oh.
You want us to say it for you?
I don't dare you. I know you'll say it just to make me laugh. He's being a slang term.
British word for vagina.
Cunt.
I was going to say 4 letters, starts with C, rhymes with bunt. Punt, Bama, punt. And I'm a Bama fan remembering that moment. I mean, in all seriousness, and here's the thing. I know that on the 24th, a tremendous charity event. But you're also going to have situations in play to where it's not going to compromise anything that anybody else is doing at any other promotion. Am I correct, Tosh?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
I mean, we all know the simple fact of life. Dwayne's back for a few months because Vince kicked in extra money. Brock is back for a little while through Mania. They want to put the buy rate through WrestleMania through the abso-frickin-lute roof.
He's there to promote a movie.
Well, yeah, that plus he's also giving the people...
Six is fixing to come out.
Yeah, and G.I. Joe Retaliation's coming out later in the year also, so he's got a double whammy coming. He's going to be...
And I'm so excited for both.
I really am. I'm looking forward to both movies, even though I think the Fast series has played its course. How many times can you wreck this?
I don't know. I thought that they had lost me with Tokyo Drift, but man, these last 2 movies have got me right back where they need to be, and the trailers that I've seen for this last one, I was worried about how Dwayne was going to fit in with the rest of the crew, but he actually fits right in with that cast. I mean, he's a very strong character.
Yeah, he is.
He plays well with his character meshes very well with the Vin Diesel and Paul Walker characters.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, I think that they have actually saved the series with the last couple of movies. And if they did this one the way they did the last two, I think it will be a strong resurgence if you even need it. I'm also anxious about the G.I. Joe movie because I'm a huge G.I. Joe mark anyway.
Okay, here's the thing. And I'm looking in the chat
room.
But
they need Sergeant Slaughter, though.
Yeah, they do. I'm looking in the chat room, and JMT 5887's made the reference that Rock has 5 movies in 5 months. This man is in dangerous situation where he could end up being overexposed, and people are going to say, oh, crap, not another one. I mean, because remember, there was a stretch where every actor in Hollywood goes through this. I remember when Stallone did it. I remember when Travolta did it before he fell off the face of the earth and finally started reading the scripts. Broken Arrow, Pulp Fiction, Face Off. 3 of the best movies, period. Still must-see movies after all this time. But
I thought Pulp Fiction was god-awful. It was as stupid as Run, Forrest, Run.
Okay, I never got into Pulp Fiction, but a lot of people I know did, and they explained to me why they got into it. Therefore, I was able to see why it was that good. I just never saw it for myself. To me, yeah, Face Off, one of his best, and that is still a must-see.
That was excellent.
Yeah, it was. Michael was an excellent Travolta movie.
Yes.
But see, and it could be worse. We could be sitting through a string of 5 Hulk Hogan movies in a row. I mean,
I actually disagree about the exposure for The Rock, though, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
There are a lot of athletes that get into movies, and I'll even use Stallone as an example. Anybody who thinks he's a really good actor is stupid. He's a horrible actor.
Yeah.
He's really good at being punch drunk. And I'm saying that dead out, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that will disagree with me. But if you really break his movies apart, Stallone is not the good actor. He has a good supporting cast around him to carry the fact. Just like a wrestling match, he has a lot of people to carry his untalented ass. Period. Dwayne has actually stepped out, and you don't see a lot of athletes that can do this and carry it off. He's actually a very good actor.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at some of the movies that I have seen him in, and one of my all-time favorite Rock movies, honest to God, is The Gridiron Gang.
I thought you were going to say The Rundown. Monkey.
But I did. I loved The Rundown, but I actually just for value of a family movie that anybody can go see and get something out of it, where you actually see real emotion from him, not just the angry face, but actually legitimate emotion where he's actually reaching out to people in an acting role. I absolutely loved the Gridiron Gang, and the one that he did with the little girl, it was kind of cheesy.
Tooth Fairy?
Was it the Game Plan or something where he meets his daughter? It was cheesy, but you get to see him taking on a bit of a different role and having a bit more emotion than just the angry emotion that you saw in the first few movies he did, just being the tough guy.
Right.
He actually has stepped out of that. I'm very impressed with his acting skills. And I don't say that about Cena's a horrible actor. Hulk Hogan acts like he wrestles. There's nothing else to say about that.
No, he actually has more moves in wrestling than he does in acting.
You know, I am a Kennedy Mark, but he was a god-awful actor, too. Or whatever the hell they're calling him now. But a lot of these guys step out of the ring and they go into movies because they fit that physical mold, and they're awful.
Yeah.
You cannot be oversaturated if you are truly that good. That's like saying you can oversaturate professional wrestling with Ric Flair or Harley Race when they were at their prime.
Harley, no. Rick, yes.
But when he was at his prime, no, you couldn't. I'm not talking about the drunk Ric Flair that's crazy dropping elbows on his jacket. I'm talking about the Ric Flair that truly set a standard.
Right.
At that time, you could not oversaturate. I'm not talking about the goofball that we see now that forgot he has a brain in his head. I'm talking about the one who had some class about him. You couldn't oversaturate at that time. Can you oversaturate with him now? Absolutely, because he's lost his effing mind.
Yeah.
But as long as The Rock keeps putting out good movies and he's talented, I don't think he has to worry about any oversaturation.
Real quick, I didn't get a chance to set this one up before we went to the last break, but we want to give a very special thank you to Mark Grayson of GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com for setting us up with the Georgia Wrestling Report, something we've been normally running on Beyond Ringside and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Mark, thank you for all the hard work. Greatly appreciated. And on behalf of the entire network, we are looking for correspondence in all areas. So for those of you living in various states, if you would like to volunteer, there's that keyword, volunteer, to offer up 5 minutes of your time to lay down tracks or to lay down a break for what's going on in your particular state as far as pro wrestling, shoot us an email, beyondringside@gmail.com, and we'll help set everything up. And we'll, like I said, we'll get it in during Beyond Ringside, the To Be Determined show, and on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Folks, we're taking our bottom of the hour break. We'll be back in 5 right here on the To Be Determined show. And welcome back into the To Be Determined show, live on a Wednesday night, 24 before the top of the hour. The host and moderator, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, had a situation come up back on the home front and has had to step away. I believe that would be an impromptu on-assignment situation. So, like I say, if he's able to, he'll let me know as soon as he's able to come back in, if he's able to come back in. And be sure to follow @Wicked Nemesis, one word, run it all together, over on Twitter. Tasha Simone, come on back in. You know, we've had some fun on and off air as it pertains to the Impact Wrestling Gut Check Challenge. And for those who have not kept track of the press releases over the last few hours, TNA has officially called off the Gut Check Challenge. First off, hallelujah. For the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons. Look, I would love to see talented individuals make it to the national stage. I would love it. Everybody should have that opportunity. I will never say anything otherwise. If they have worked their asses off, if they've learned their craft, I can't say perfected, if they've honed their skills and built a solid reputation as a good worker in this business, as a solid wrestler in this business, I wish them the best and I want them to make it. But TNA did more to destroy that wall and pull back the curtain in one campaign than anybody has ever considered doing to the world and the sport and the business of professional wrestling.
This campaign did as much damage, in my opinion, as Beyond the Mat did.
Or $5 wrestling.
Or $5 wrestling. I have been very avid, as have a lot of other veterans. And I went on my Facebook page and was very blunt, did not call any names out. Do not send me the invites. I am not impressed by you wearing a $250 T-shirt.
Amen.
Seriously, I'm very not impressed by it. That just shows how stupid you are. Furthermore, anybody who goes and buys one of these $250 T-shirts, they need to remember all of the seminars that Tom Pritchard used to do, going everywhere, that Nova used to do, saying we're looking for WWE talent. They are not going to tell anybody they're too fat, they're too ugly, or that they don't have any talent because they're a big fat pussy. No, they're going to keep saying, hey, this is what you need to work on. Here's where my next seminar is to come pay me more money.
Right.
People are so stupid. And then these guys are like, oh, let me make myself look even more ignorant. They're saying that I don't even have to have talent now. All I have to do is go on Facebook and beg people to go to this website and vote for me. They don't have to have connected with me as a professional wrestler. They don't even have to see whether I can wrestle or not. They just have to, it has to be a girl who looks at me and can wet her panties because she thinks I'm cute. Or if I'm a girl, it has to be a guy who can look at me and his penis gets hard, so go vote for me. That's not earning anything. And some of these guys have actually gotten angry because myself, Steve Corino, Wolfie D, Hugh Carmichael, several other veterans, I believe David Cash has made comments about it, have actually said, hey, dumbasses, quit begging for somebody to vote for you and go out and earn it.
Yeah.
You're making yourself look bad, and you're making the business look bad. And I'm offended by TNA because they put somebody who has no business being in there, didn't even do one of these things, in their voting. Chase Stevens is one of the most talented wrestlers that I know, hands down. And aside from being Satan, he's not really a bad person either. But they have him listed on this gut check voting. Chase Stevens, and he works for the company. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just the biggest joke in the world.
Well, remember, Christian York did a gut check deal on TNA, and he was on the first freaking episode.
Well, that was the work gut check. That was the one they already knew they were calling him up. I'm talking about this gut check voting.
Yeah, I know.
What the people were seeing on Gut Check TV was people that they had already intended on hiring,
right?
And then they were going to make a production out of it. Now, I don't stooge stuff off very often because I just don't believe in that. But get real. You know, these people need to open their eyes and see not only are they being made to look stupid, but they are being used to hurt the business in the process of allowing themselves to be made to look stupid.
Well, see, here's the fun part about this whole scenario. The way that they'd originally set up the voting is you go vote, and you vote once per IP address. It has a tracker built in. It places a cookie on your computer. I was okay with that. And then all of a sudden, in midstream, Impact TNA changes the voting procedure to where you can vote as many times as you want to, and instead of the top one coming out of the bracket, it's the top three. They've already screwed the pooch by doing that. You take it halfway through and change the voting procedures? Can you imagine how many people would be pissed off to high hell at American Idol if they were to change that going into the final episode or halfway through the voting? Can you imagine?
Do people still watch that?
Yeah, it's still got.
Is it even still on?
Yeah, they're doing the audition phase. My dad is 82 years old, and he likes American Idol, but he doesn't love it like he used to. He still feels that Bo Bice should have won, and frankly, so do I. Season 5.
I haven't watched it since Simon Cowell's been gone.
I
only watched it to hear him be mean to people.
I haven't actively watched it, but there is one episode throughout this two. One is when they get to the final three, and they normally take the three finalists back to their hometowns, and these people have a little bit of justice on life. When they rolled out of town, they were a nobody. When they roll back in, they get a ticker tape parade and a key to the city and get to perform live in front of the hometown crowd. I am so happy for these people being able to do that I will watch the episode and give them the ratings for that show. Number 2.
Well, now, I will say this. They give a lot of people opportunities, not just winners. There are people who have not even won who make more money than some of the people who are past winners of American Idol.
I mean, and I look at it like this. Season 5, the final was Bo Bice versus Carrie Underwood. Do I feel that Bo Bice beat Carrie Underwood fair and square in a true talent competition? You're damn right I think he did.
Yes.
I have to agree with votefortheworst.com when they called her farm bot. She
has turned into one hell of a country singer.
Oh, hell yes. And I appreciate the fact that she has matured. She's opened up, and she showed the fact that she not only has talent, but she can perform. I feel bad for Bo Bice because of what happened, but by the same token, I think that Bice should have won. I think Bice stepped down and said, let her have it, because of creative differences.
But I will also say this, and I'm sure a lot of people would have a heart attack and say, oh no, Carrie Underwood sold more songs. I think the most talented person to have ever come off of American Idol to this point, I have not seen anybody more talented, anybody with better vocals than Kelly Clarkson.
Very true. I think she's phenomenal.
she is the first one that I watched that I said, I mean, the minute I saw her audition, I said she will win. If she does not win, this is rigged.
Yeah, JMT popped in with the chat room going Josh Turner, for example, and agreed. But from that vantage point, you know, getting back over to the Impact Challenge, and this is where I'm going to sit back and smile because of what a friend of ours and one of my co-hosts on Beyond Ringside did. The minute that he saw that the voting procedure and the advancing procedure has changed, Mark Bowman, also known as Mabo, over on Beyond Ringside, Mabo, take your pick, but everybody calls him Mabo, depending on when you meet him, basically got on Twitter and called out Dixie Carter and TNA Gut Check's Twitter account and Impact Wrestling's Twitter account and said, would somebody like to come on Beyond Ringside and explain how exactly this fraud is now taking place? And just flat out.
Good for Mabo.
Yeah, my hat's off to him. And lo and behold, within a little while after he sent those messages over, they said, we're going to cancel the Gut Check Challenge, but we'll bring it back when the voting procedures can be solidified and foolproof. Yeah, right. You had it good to begin with, and you screwed the pooch. You changed it up, and somebody called you out on it in a public forum, and guess what? He was right. He was damn right.
Good for him.
I'm happy. I'm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm proud to call Mabo friend, but for standing up like that and starting that ball rolling, oh, hell yeah. Because he has followers on Twitter who have followers on Twitter, and they're able to see all this. It's like, yeah, we dare you. Come on Beyond Ringside. Hell, they could have come on TBD if we'd have set it up in time. Show the fact that you're perpetrating a fraud not only on the fans of professional wrestling, but the people in the damn business. Impact has shot itself in the foot so many times. Oh, and I just read an article where they're going to be taping. Hold on, let me spin around the monitor because I want to get this. Hold on. As we're going 14 minutes before the top of the hour on the To Be Determined show on this Wednesday night, Eddie Lane, Tasha Simone sitting in with you, Wicked Nemesis on assignment at this particular moment. Let me come over here. Tapings. Okay. Taping dates have been announced for TNA's one-night-only shows. According to ImpactWrestling.com, and I'm over at LordsOfPain.net, so I'll give credit where credit is due. According to ImpactWrestling.com, TNA Wrestling will film one-night-only pay-per-view events at Universal Studios in Orlando on March 17, 23, and 24. TNA states you're invited to be our guest as part of the live studio audience for the taping of the one-night-only series at Universal Studios. 2 shows featuring your favorite wrestling superstars are taped each day. Shows will be taped at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock on all 3 days. Fact of the matter is, TNA has hurt themselves to the point where, A, they're finally getting smart and getting the hell out of the Impact Zone. Thank God. But they're also going to be coming back on specific dates to shoot certain events. I can understand that. The Impact Zone is great, cute, wonderful to use every once in a while. But when everything you do is based out of the same building, including your pay-per-views, you're doing nothing but hurting yourself because the audience is getting stagnant by watching the same venue. People want an opportunity to go see these shows and get in front of the camera and clown, bring their signs, and act like a fool. Do they not, Tasha?
They do.
That is why WWE Raw and SmackDown do so amazingly well in this economy. They actually had a good turnout this past Sunday for the Raw House show here in Birmingham, Alabama. They had a good turnout up there, and there were no cameras. Well, they weren't really actively doing, but they had cameras running around. They always do. Go back and review it.
Mm-hmm.
But they've taped pay-per-view events in advance. They're getting ready to tape more pay-per-view events in advance. Now, and they're going to keep what they're calling their Big Four as live events. This is not 10 years ago when they were doing the Wednesday night pay-per-views for $9.95 for 2 hours, which were thoroughly enjoyable and didn't have all the excessive bullshit drama, forced drama. If the action in the ring and the stars in the ring cannot put together a compelling enough match to where it will get and keep your attention and make you involuntarily lurch forward as you're trying to push your favorite person's shoulder off the canvas at the count of 2 3/4, then something is wrong. Correct?
Yep.
I mean, I'd like for you to. Would you like to expound on?
It's just easy to break it down. Everything is flash and trash, but when you get too much flash, there's no substance anymore. And bottom line is, we're taking away what is on the marquee. It's all entertainment. There's no wrestling. People should be entertained by the wrestling. And the people like WWE don't count on that anymore. They have gone so far into this cookie-cutter mold of a look that they have lost the substance of skill and the craft. So they can't count on wrestling, and they have to add all of the other additions, which makes it a spectacle, a folly, a living, breathing comic book. I like comic books because when I get to the end of the colorful pages, I'm done with it. It doesn't take me 3 hours to read a comic book. I don't want to take it 3 hours to see a huge wrestling program.
We put out a question in recent days for BR. And the question is, how would you find a way to keep from losing viewers going into the third hour of Raw? What do you think the number one answer was?
Stop having a third hour of Raw.
Ding, 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 ding. You go to the bonus round.
Nobody wants to sit through. This is the thing. Unless it is a year-end card.
Yeah.
Like, say, I'll use GCW for an example. I'll even Saw. This Friday night, they're having their anniversary show.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it should be a little longer. There should be a little more glitz to it because it's an anniversary show. It's celebrating something. It's a 1 year or whatever year they've been there. It's not, it's a yearly show. It's not an every month issue. WWE, TNA, whoever, they have a pay-per-view every month.
Sometimes
so
more
guess
than one.
what? It's not a big deal anymore. It's like an all-male stripper review. They're still a big deal because they don't come to town every week.
You're right.
If they came to town every week, women wouldn't care. But they're a novelty. They are something different. Once people become accustomed to it, it's not different anymore. It's the same old, same old. And if you look at the matches, it's just like reading a book that you're very accustomed to, your favorite book. It becomes by rote. And even if it's your favorite book, you get bored with it. And you find a new favorite book.
Right.
That's what has happened. And honestly, if they want people to watch their product, and I've said this, and this is, I don't even watch it, but I know CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are over. The reason that they are over is because they still put some wrestling in what they do. They need to forget the comic book. We have Transformers in movie form.
Mm-hmm.
We have Blade in movie form. We have all these superheroes. We need real people who can do things like our superheroes. That's what professional wrestlers used to be. Were they larger than life? Yes, but we knew that they were real people. They were not comic book characters, and they could defeat the bad guy as a real person, and that gave us hope that we could do the same thing. It's not that way anymore. You have people being jacked up in cars 150 feet in the air and the car dropping with them in it and them surviving. Bullshit. let's get back to some realism. Let's get back to what is on the marquee. You want people to watch professional wrestling for 3 hours? Give them 3 hours of professional wrestling, not bullshit. Because no matter how many times people argue with me about it, I see it in town after town, at venue after venue. It's amazing how I will call people buying for things, and everybody knows I'm famous for asking for my world champion discount. And when people find out I am a professional wrestler, you would be amazed, and I do mean legitimately amazed at the people who say, why do we not get to see professional wrestling anymore? I remember the days of Dusty Rhodes and Pac Song and Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch being the Texas Outlaws and Ric Flair and Harley Race. And these guys wrestled. And Wahoo McDaniel and the Funks. People are starving, and I mean starving, for professional wrestling. And the two companies that have the wherewithal to give it to them are saying, screw you, we're going to give you more bullshit.
That's why I watch
ROH. And this is the really sad part. The fans have control, and the fans are too stupid to take it. Can they control what matches go in the ring? No. But they can damn sure stop buying tickets, and they can go on their little Twitters, because this is a world of media now, of mass media. They can go on their Twitter, they can go on their Facebook and say, you know what, we want to watch your product, but we want to watch it for what you advertise it for. Professional wrestling. If I want to watch a damn soap opera, I'll turn on General Hospital. If I want to watch a cartoon, I'll turn on Cartoon Network. No, truthfully, I'll probably turn on Hub because it has all the old good cartoons.
I miss Boomerang.
You know, but people really, and it's such an insult to professional wrestling fans. I have had people call me a dinosaur, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be one of these older wrestlers who says, oh, I have to change with the times and become an entertainer. I don't believe that you should either be an entertainer or a wrestler. I believe if you were a truly talented wrestler who has taken the time to learn your craft, what you do in the ring is entertaining.
Amen.
I believe that.
Amen.
And I'm okay with being a dinosaur. I'm okay with people referring to me that way. I am not going to concern myself with, oh my God, my facial wasn't right. Because guess what? When I put a hold on somebody, I don't have to worry about whether their facial's showing that it hurts or not, because it does.
If you are a dinosaur, then that definitely makes me justified when I call myself MC T-Rex or DJ Jurassic.
Well, I mean, I actually, and I mentioned a young man that had contacted me privately asking why several of the veterans were so bitter. I think myself, Wolfie, Bull Payne, Steve Corino, several of us have really blasted David Cash, who is now no longer with TNA, from what I understand. I don't know that for sure. We have all blasted openly the gut check.
Yeah.
I mean, blasted it openly. And one of the guys actually, like I was telling you off air, contacted me privately. I won't name him on the air, although I really, really want to. But he wouldn't get anything out of it, so it wouldn't benefit anybody other than me just being an asshole. Contacted me wanting to know why we're bitter. And these kids don't understand anymore. People aren't even taught the same way. We're not bitter. We just think they look stupid. And when we tell them, stop doing this because you look stupid, we're not doing it to be mean. We're doing it to help them. But they take it that we're bitter. And he actually called me a dinosaur. And the funny thing is, I'm not offended by that. Because when I broke into the business, you still earned your spot by being able to wrestle, by what you brought to the table and by what you put in the ring. I have even had people question my training methods over the past few months because I train to call people out. I don't train to take their money. I train people to make them quit. I have a job. I don't need their money to pay my bills.
Throw up Thursdays?
That is correct.
Approaching the top of the hour here on the To Be Determined show with Wicked Nemesis, Tasha Simone, Fast Eddie Lane. Do me a favor, Tosh, while I've got the graphic up on the screen, give us a quick rundown about the 24th one more time.
24th, let me kind of pull up the card here if I can real quick. February 24th, Millersville, Tennessee, 1214 Old Louisville Highway B, I believe. We are having an amazing wrestling card. It is to benefit a 7-year-old young lady who is fighting ALL leukemia. Her body is resistant to the treatments that they are giving her. Talk about an incredible card. Top of the card is Jason Nesmith versus Christian Haynes for Alabama fans. Everybody knows who Christian is.
Oh, yeah.
The Natural, Chase Stevens, will be wrestling my partner, Eric Andrews, in the semi-main event. You'll also be seeing me in mixed tag team action with Brian Casanova, which, if a lot of people follow Anarchy or Rampage Wrestling, they're familiar with Brian Casanova. I guess he calls himself the Universal Soldier. Miss Rachel from the Nashville area will be teaming up with Alan Shepard to take us on. As much as I hate to say his name, very big fan favorite in this area. Boogie Woogie Boy Gary Valiant is on the card in the fans lumberjack strap match. Team IOU, Nick Iggy and Kerry Awful are a huge part of the card. Dyron Flynn, who has also been on the show, Jeremy Flint. Just a huge group of wrestlers that I'm really proud of for donating their time and saying, we want to help this girl. Bubba Perry, who, as I said earlier, one of the longest-running events for fundraising for Make-A-Wish, has also volunteered his time for this benefit as well. It's a really big deal for fans who can't attend the benefit. They can definitely still make a donation. They can still do their part. leukemia.ninja@gmail.com is the email to send a PayPal donation to, and then if they will send me a confirmation of their donation, Tasha Simone, NWA@gmail.com. I'm sending out autographs to anybody who sends me that confirmation, autographed pictures. I'll also be giving details in the next couple of weeks on how they may be able to own the wrestling gear that I will be wrestling in at the benefit that day.
And also there are a couple other people who are offering nice little perks for those who make donations, right?
That is correct. Tiffany Rocks, who actually, she's former NWA Women's World Champion. Tiffany has nothing to do with this benefit. I challenged the female wrestlers I challenged really everybody to step up, but definitely the wrestlers who are moms. Only 2 took the challenge, and regardless of what I may feel about somebody professionally, Tiffany Rock stood up and said, you send me a confirmation, I'll match Tasha's one autograph picture. Miss Rachel, who is actually my foe on the card, has said she does video downloads, and if somebody will send her confirmation of the donation, she will be giving them one free video download.
And once again, the PayPal address is leukemia.ninja@gmail.com. So for those who make, like I said, you don't. We've all said it here on the To Be Determined show. Give what you can, give what you're comfortable giving, because every little bit helps. I mean, this is a great card for a very beautiful young lady who is in the middle of a life-threatening situation. And we are working together as a community and as a family in professional wrestling.
That is correct. I cannot stress enough how proud I am. It's issues like this. I can work in front of thousands of people and have a standing ovation when I leave the ring. And there's still, even with that, no better feeling than knowing I can go in the ring, use what I have been taught as my craft, and help somebody else who needs my help. It makes me feel good as a wrestler. It makes me feel good as a mom. And it makes me very proud of the professional wrestling community to know that others step up as well. Because no matter how much we hate each other, no matter how much the fans hate many of us, they get to see the human side of us as well.
Do me a favor. Let's go ahead and go straight for it. We're 4 after the top of the hour. Tasha Simone, shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs. You can find me online at tashasimone.com, where you can also, because I cannot push this enough, find information about this wonderful little girl. I actually have a page on my website dedicated to her. It says Fighting Aurora. It will be maintained even after the benefit, because I think as a mother, if it were my child, I would want people to try and give a little extra help for me as well. You can also find me on Twitter, Tasha Simone, or at Tasha Simone, NWA. And, of course, you can find me on Facebook, and God knows I cannot remember that freaking address, so just search for Tasha and look for all the bikini pictures, and, yes, that is me.
Upcoming
and of course, this Saturday night,
thank you.
We'll say there's a Sawmill anniversary show where I can guarantee that Chris Michaels will be pounding the crap out of Vordell Walker to walk away with the Saw International title this Friday night. But more importantly, NWA World Champion Cahagas is making his way to the Nashville area this weekend. He will be facing my Simply Perfection partner, the role model, the Dragon, Eric Andrews, this Saturday night. And if Eric and I have anything to say about it, the NWA will have a new world champion this Saturday night in Lebanon, Tennessee.
And for the record, it is facebook.com/Tasha.Simone1. Tasha.Simone and the number 1 over on Facebook.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do know that Eddie Lane Powell is very much my number 1 stalker.
Say that again. I missed the last half.
I said, no, we know you're my number 1 stalker. Because you know my address better than I do.
No, I have fast fingers and a good internet connection. Not necessarily in that order.
Me too. I'm just too lazy to look.
And plus, I've got 4 monitors here in front of me in studio. You still never made it to Birmingham long enough to come into the studio. I'll send you.
I know.
Also, don't forget tag team partners here on the To Be Determined show. Matt Denton. You can find him on Facebook. Matt Denton. Look him up. Also on Twitter at Words from Prism. PRISM. Of course, the man who helps everybody feel the rage, and that would be Smark Rage. You can find him over on Twitter at Smark Rage, SMARK Rage. It's that darn easy. And, of course, your host and moderator for the To Be Determined show, the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the manager and spiritual advisor for the Unlucky Charms, who says that you should get unlucky every chance you get. You can find him on Facebook, the Wicked Nemesis Enoch Tessarian. Fan page is available. Look him up. Just start typing in the Wicked Nemesis, and it will come up. Also on Twitter, definitely follow him at Wicked Nemesis. One word, run it all together. We are working on a rebirth for his official website that is going to be coming true hopefully in the next 4 weeks. We're just trying to get all the logistics together, and we'll let everybody know what's happening. Don't forget, you can follow the To Be Determined show over on Twitter at the TBD show. Run it all together. Once again, that is THETBD show. Also, there is a Facebook fan page for the To Be Determined show. Just start typing To Be Determined show. It will come up, and you'll find all of our smiling faces over there. And yours truly, you can find at Fast Eddie Lane over on Twitter, LAYNE, run it all together. Facebook.com/Fast Eddie Lane and FastEddieLane.com. And would love to invite everybody to join us this coming Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, where yours truly, Wicked Nemesis and Mark Mabo Bowman, Man who popped the cork and ran TNA directly into... We're going to cancel the gut check challenge for now. Mabo is my hero. At MA_BO. Look him up. Cool character. He's family. Trust me. You'll definitely get a kick out of his Twitter rants.
He is totally cool. And if he says he's naked and eating, he probably is.
Yeah. He'll be honest enough to tell you exactly what he's doing when he's doing it. Oh, my God, be prepared for the truth. Also, Global Championship Wrestling's GCW radio broadcast on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. It will be returning on February the 19th at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Keep your eyes open on GCWPro.com for information. We talked about the upcoming show on Saturday, February 23rd. Like I said, we're talking about the 24th up in Millersville, Nashville area. If things can be worked out, Beyond Ringside Radio will be going live to the volunteer state of Tennessee on the 24th as part of Fighting for Aurora. Like I said, we're trying to work out the logistics. We're going to do everything we can to put together a live broadcast on the 24th from up there at Fighting for Aurora. Trust me, if we can work this out, you're guaranteed it will happen. I'm trying to remember. Check out BeyondRingside.com for more information on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, all the shows that are cast here. Thank you again to Mark Grayson for the Georgia Wrestling Report. Wick, hope things come together. Keep me posted. Shoot me a text. Let me know what's going on. I'm saying this like he can actually hear me, which hopefully he can. So hopefully he can. I do want to add one more spoiler alert. Go ahead.
Bubba Perry that I was talking about. And this is a big spoiler alert with more information to come. As I said, Big Bubba does the Big Bubba Celebrity Softball Bash every year for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year, I think it's going to be May 17th. Rumor is that Bubba Perry is either brave enough or crazy enough, we're not really sure which, to allow me, myself, and I to actually have a softball bat in my hands.
I'm scared.
But it's for charity, so if I bash somebody's kneecaps, it's okay.
You scare me sometimes, woman. Very good with the laugh. Very impressive.
And you can actually check out the tournament information at BigBubbasBash.com.
Folks, we're going to call it a night here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Before we run, I want to let you know the Georgia Wrestling Report will be replayed also immediately following that right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. The Tuesday night conversation between yours truly, Fast Eddie Lane, and One Man Crew. You'll find this very interesting. We got a brand new series we're debuting here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Keep an eye open for it. It's all the information is on .com. I'll have the Reverend Dan Wilson interview up and going on the radio station a little bit later in the night, just like this show will be podcast a little bit later, and available for download for free through iTunes. For Mad Dog Matt Denton, who's off being a vagina somewhere and not calling in tonight. For Smart Rage, who needs to hit himself in the nuts and get the rage going all over again. Love you, Corey. I only say that because I love you. For your host and moderator, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter. We'll see him this weekend. And for our co-host, multi-time National Wrestling Alliance Women's World Champion, the Queen of the Pile Driver, Tasha Simone.
Everybody have a good night. Deuces.
This is show producer Fast Eddie Lane saying until next time, we'll see you right here on the To Be Determined show on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Bye-bye.